Never do these 5 things when a woman loses interest. Get her to like you back. High-value men. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When a woman loses interest, it's easy to let panic and insecurity take over. But here's the thing. Your mindset in these moments shapes the outcome. In today's video, we're exploring the 5 crucial mistakes most men make when they're trying to win her back. Mistakes that only push her further away. Are you guilty of any of these? Or maybe you've experienced this from the other side. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's dive in and uncover how to turn things around while staying true to your worth. Remember, your value isn't tied to her interest. It's rooted in your confidence and self-respect. 1. Never beg or plead. When a woman loses interest, it's natural to feel a surge of emotions, and the instinct to win her back at all costs can be overwhelming. But here's a hard truth. Pleading or begging is a surefire way to extinguish any remaining spark. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you beg, you're essentially reacting from a place of desperation, signaling that you've lost control and, more importantly, self-respect. The very qualities that may have initially drawn her to you, confidence, composure, and self-worth, become overshadowed by a frantic need to cling on. This not only reinforces her decision to pull away, but also shifts the power dynamic, placing her in the driver's seat while you relinquish your sense of self. Begging tells her that she holds all the cards, which may feel suffocating to her and leaves you in an emotionally vulnerable position. Stoic life lessons teach us the value of maintaining inner peace and self-reliance, even when external circumstances challenge us. When you beg or plead, it suggests that your happiness hinges entirely on her decisions, creating a dynamic where you become overly dependent and lose the sense of emotional independence that stoicism champions. This can quickly lead to resentment on both sides. In modern relationships, this kind of imbalance is unsustainable. People are naturally drawn to those who exude self-respect and confidence, not those who grovel for validation. Instead of chasing after someone who's pulling away, take a step back and focus on what is stoicism, a philosophy that encourages mastering your emotions and embracing the things within your control. Remind yourself that genuine connection stems from mutual respect and desire, not from one person sacrificing their dignity to keep the other around. By maintaining your composure, you send a clear message. You value yourself enough to walk away from anything that diminishes your self-worth. This isn't about playing games or feigning indifference. It's about embodying a mindset that prioritizes your emotional well-being over fleeting validation. Interestingly, when you stop chasing, you often become more attractive. This shift in energy can reignite her interest as she sees that you're not defined by her presence or absence in your life. But even if she doesn't come back, you're left standing tall, with your dignity intact, ready to attract someone who appreciates you for who you are. The key is to internalize this strength, not just for the sake of relationships, but for your personal growth. In every aspect of life, confidence and self-respect are magnetic. As Marcus Aurelius aptly put it, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Focus on thoughts that empower you, not those that diminish your worth. So stand firm in your values, resist the urge to beg, and let your quiet confidence speak for itself. Whether she comes back or not, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true values that no one can take away. If you agree with this, comment below. I stand firm in my values to affirm your determination. 2. Don't chase her. Let her come to you. When a woman loses interest, many men fall into the trap of chasing, thinking that doubling down on affection, attention, and persistence will rekindle her feelings. It's an understandable reaction, but let's face it, chasing often backfires. Think about this. The more you run after someone who's already pulling away, the more they distance themselves. Why? Because people naturally gravitate toward what feels scarce and valuable, not what's readily available. If you're constantly present, bombarding her with texts, compliments, and surprise visits, you risk overwhelming her. What you see as a loving effort, she may perceive as neediness or even desperation. And let's be honest, desperation is rarely attractive. Consider a common scenario. A man notices his partner becoming distant. In response, he tries to bridge the gap by being even more present, texting every hour and planning spontaneous dates. His intention is clear. He wants to show he cares. But from her perspective, his behavior becomes suffocating. She starts feeling like she's lost her personal space, and instead of rekindling her affection, she feels an urge to escape. This dynamic plays out in countless relationships, and it teaches a crucial lesson. More effort is not always the answer. What's the alternative? Embrace the wisdom of stoicism today by practicing restraint and patience. Instead of chasing, pull back. Give her the space she's signaling she needs. When you do this, you communicate a subtle yet powerful message. You respect her autonomy and value your own time and peace. You're not just a man seeking validation from her attention. You're someone who finds stoic happiness in self-reliance and inner peace. This shift doesn't mean playing manipulative games. It means knowing your worth and refusing to pour energy into a one-sided relationship. Here's where the magic happens. When you stop chasing, you create a void. If she still cares, she'll notice your absence and start to wonder about you. Curiosity and longing are powerful tools in rekindling attraction. She may realize that the sense of security and attention she took for granted is now missing. And because you've shown you're not dependent on her for your happiness, you become more attractive. After all, confidence and independence are the hallmarks of high-value men. Think about it. What's more compelling, a man who clings desperately to a slipping relationship, or one who quietly steps back, trusting that what's meant to be will be? The latter demonstrates emotional maturity and strength. He's not afraid of losing someone because he knows his value isn't tied to anyone else's approval. This is stoicism in action, a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions, while letting go of the rest. So, ask yourself, are you chasing because you fear losing her, or are you stepping back because you value your dignity and peace? The answer could change the course of your relationships. Remember, sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all. By holding your ground, you remind her and yourself that your worth isn't up for negotiation. In the end, stepping back not only preserves your self-respect, but also positions you as someone worth chasing. That's the true power of stoicism today, finding strength in letting go and attracting what aligns with your value naturally. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below or simply type, "I don't chase, I attract." This affirmation is more than just words, it's a mindset rooted in Stoic life lessons. 3. Stop being readily available. Let me level with you, one of the biggest mistakes you can make when trying to reignite a woman's interest is becoming too available. It might feel like the right move, always being there for her, responding to her messages instantly, picking up her calls without hesitation. But let's take a step back and think, what message are you really sending? This behavior screams eagerness, even desperation, and nothing diminishes your value faster. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your actions reflect a man who prioritizes someone else's time over his own, what kind of signal are you sending about your self-respect? Here's the truth. When you're perpetually accessible, you're communicating that you don't have much else going on. No personal goals, no ambitions, no commitments. And that's a problem. People, especially women, are naturally drawn to individuals who are engaged in their own journey, who have a sense of purpose and direction. If you're putting your life on pause for her, she'll pick up on it, and that lack of independence can quickly become unattractive. Would you be intrigued by someone who seems to have no other priorities or pursuits outside of your relationship? A stoic mindset, central to the philosophy of high-value men, teaches us to focus on what we can control: our growth, our purpose, our inner peace. When you're too readily available, you're giving away your power. You're showing her that you've placed your life in her hands, waiting for her next move. But here's the thing, a woman wants to be with someone who inspires her, someone who challenges her, not someone who makes her feel like the center of his universe at the cost of his own dreams. As Epictetus wisely noted, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Your time and attention are part of that freedom. Don't give them away so easily. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore her or play hard to get games. That's not what Win Stoic is about. It's about balance. You need to show her that you have your own path, your own mission, and that she is a valued part of your life, but not the entirety of it. Picture this. If you're busy working on a project, hitting the gym, or spending time with your friends, you're naturally less available, and when she reaches out, your attention will feel more meaningful, more valued. That slight distance creates a sense of intrigue, a space where curiosity and longing can thrive. Ask yourself, what kind of man do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy who drops everything the moment his phone buzzes? Or do you want to be the man who's building his empire, who values his time and energy, and who invites people into his life on his terms? This shift in mindset not only elevates your self-worth, but also transforms how others perceive you. Creating a life filled with purpose and direction makes your time more precious. When she sees you thriving, following your own goals, she'll naturally feel more drawn to you. Remember, relationships thrive on mutual respect and individuality. By stepping back and valuing your independence, you're not just enhancing your appeal, you're laying the foundation for a deeper, more fulfilling connection. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need a reminder of the strength that comes from holding on to their dignity. Let's keep this conversation going and dive deeper into what it truly means to live by the principles of Stoicism. 4. Don't revalidate. When a woman begins to pull away, one of the worst instincts a man can have is to revalidate. The moment you start piling on constant compliments and reassurances, hoping to reignite her interest, you risk unraveling the delicate balance of attraction. Stoic life lessons teach us that seeking validation from others only weakens our own sense of self-worth. As Epictetus wisely said, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. When you over-validate, you project your insecurities, subtly communicating that her validation is necessary for your confidence. This doesn't reignite her interest. Instead, it diminishes the allure that once drew her to you. Overvaluation disrupts the dynamic of mutual respect and admiration. By turning her into the prize and yourself into the ever-eager approver, you inadvertently create a one-sided relationship. What is Stoicism if not the art of mastering our inner emotions and projecting a steady, self-assured presence? True confidence comes not from excessive praise, but from quiet self-assurance, allowing your actions and demeanor to speak louder than words. By bombarding her with unending affirmations, you dilute the power of genuine appreciation. Compliments lose their meaning when they are constant. They become noise rather than music. In the modern dating world, predictability is the enemy of passion. Women, like men, are drawn to mystery and depth. A relationship thrives on moments of surprise and discovery, and when every action she takes is met with immediate validation, you rob her of the opportunity to wonder and be curious. Instead of telling her she's beautiful every hour, let her feel it through your thoughtful gaze or your unspoken admiration. Remember, people value what they have to work for. A well-timed compliment carries far more weight than a barrage of daily affirmations. Moreover, overvaluation makes her question your authenticity. She might begin to wonder if you truly see her for who she is, or if you're simply idealizing an image of her. This can create a sense of pressure or even unease, as she feels she must constantly live up to the pedestal you've placed her on. Relationships rooted in Stoic principles recognize the importance of authenticity and balance. You should appreciate your partner without losing sight of your own value. Long-term, excessive validation erodes the dynamic of healthy mutual respect. When she knows you'll always praise her, regardless of her actions, she may start to take your words for granted. Real attraction thrives on a balance of stability and unpredictability, much like the ebb and flow of nature that Stoics often reflected upon. By holding back, you give her space to reflect on her own worth and earn your admiration in ways that feel genuine and significant. In short, a high-value man knows that his worth is not tied to how he validates others. By being secure in who you are, you demonstrate a quiet confidence that naturally attracts others. Show appreciation in important moments, not a constant crutch to prop up the relationship. This subtle shift not only rekindles her interest, but also strengthens the foundation of mutual respect and genuine connection. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be one." If you find this helpful, comment below "High Value Man" so we can connect. 5. Avoid over-explaining. When a woman begins to pull away, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is falling into the trap of over-explaining. It's a natural reaction trying to fix things by explaining your behavior, clarifying your intentions, or justifying your choices. You might believe that if she truly understands where you're coming from, her interest will reignite. But the truth is, this approach rarely works. Over-explaining sends a subtle, yet powerful, signal of insecurity. It's like saying, "Please see me in the way I want to be seen," and that's the last thing a high-value man should communicate. Think about it. Stoic happiness doesn't come from seeking external validation. It comes from self-assurance and living in accordance with your principles. When you over-explain, you risk shifting the dynamic of the relationship in a way that's unflattering. Instead of standing firmly in your decisions, you come across as someone who needs her approval to feel okay about yourself. This erodes respect and removes any sense of mystery or intrigue. Imagine you're watching a movie where the lead character constantly pauses to explain every single action and decision. Wouldn't that ruin the flow and make them seem less compelling? In life, as in movies, less is often more. By over-explaining, you're not allowing her the space to process her feelings naturally. Attraction isn't something you can intellectualize or talk someone into, it's emotional, and sometimes it fades without a clear reason. Trying to solve an emotional shift with logical explanations is like trying to patch a sinking boat with duct tape. It just doesn't hold. Let's consider a common modern scenario. You've been busy with work, and you sense her pulling away. In an effort to fix it, you say, "I've just had so much on my plate, but you mean a lot to me," or "I'm doing all this for our future." While your words might be genuine, they can come off as defensive or even apologetic. Instead, imagine if you acknowledged her feelings with a simple, "I understand," and then continued showing your care through small, thoughtful actions. Maybe it's a quick check-in text during the day, or carving out time for a meaningful conversation without making a grand verbal defense of your priorities. Actions often speak louder than words, and in this case, they convey strength and stability qualities that are far more attractive. Here's a question to ponder. When you feel the need to explain yourself, who are you really trying to convince, her or yourself? In Stoicism today, we learn that true confidence comes from being at peace with our decisions and accepting the outcomes without undue attachment. By embracing this mindset, you create an aura of calm and self-assurance that naturally draws people toward you. Women, like anyone else, are drawn to those who are centered and secure in their sense of self. If she feels you don't need her validation to stand tall, she may find herself re-evaluating her distance, often rekindling interest on her own. Ultimately, the lesson here is to trust the power of your silence and presence. You don't need to narrate your worth or explain your every move. Let your actions do the talking and let her come to her own conclusions. The quiet confidence of a stoic man living with purpose and contentment speaks volumes. It says, "I am enough as I am." And that, my friend, is a message far more compelling than any explanation you could ever give. In this video, we've explored the 5 things you should never do when a woman loses interest, especially if you want to win her back. Remember, your self-respect and confidence are key. Begging or pleading only drives her further away, while standing firm and valuing yourself sets you apart as a high-value man. Now it's your turn. Have you ever faced a situation like this? How did you handle it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences and insights. Let's keep growing together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more life-changing Stoic lessons.